afternoon from Nikki and from me on this rather overcast, and I have to say from my point of view, extremely trying Thursday afternoon, because I have had quite a drama here this morning with people mucking up the lift because they couldn't be bothered to listen. And rather than listen, they then thought that they could just stab every button and just cause no end of problems. But there we go. Putting that aside, let's plunge right in. Eleanor Flight says, "Dear and most beloved Lady C, thank you. I cannot wait to hear your response to Meghan's apology to the court. How very delicious is this moment. I am so glad that the Queen and the royal family can have taken comfort over the past few months, that your sane and rational voice held firm against the slings and arrows of outrageous piffle aimed towards them and towards you, while we who also serve who only stand and wait quietly anticipated such a denouement. I am sure there'll be plenty more piffle emanating forth from the peanut gallery, but I doubt it will interrupt the main act now. Sending best wishes and fond regards from the Antipodes, Eleanor." This is but one of many comments, and I have read it out because I thought it was so adorable. And also, she makes the point very validly that I was almost a lone wolf baying in the night. Let's put it that way. And yes, let us see what more piffle is going to come up, because the fact of the matter is, Meghan is a windbag, and she just gifts the world with endless breakages of wind. And I have to say, I don't know about you, but I'm really becoming so turned off by that woman. Just a glimpse of her is enough to repel me, aside from having to listen to her. I cannot get over, and the longer this situation goes on, is the more it is hammered home to me, how an emissary of theirs last year, I think it was January, might have been February, but I think it was January, when I was writing my book, that an emissary of theirs, very reliable source, sent through a message to me to say that Meghan was making reprehensible claims against her father. I said it at the time, and with the passage of time, I have come to realize that I was only too accurate. I screamed down the phone at the emissary, "That is evil. It is evil. I'm sorry." With the passage of time, I am coming to the conclusion that my every instinct was accurate, and that we are dealing with a woman who, in my opinion, judging off her conduct, is evil, evil, evil. I think she's disturbed. I think she has personality disorders. I think she maybe has mental issues otherwise. But you can be mad and not bad. But I think she's bad. Sweet Pea says, Lady C, I hope you had a chance to view the appeal case of the Mail on Sunday and Meghan. Please discuss Meghan's conversations with Jason Knauf regarding the letter she wrote to her father. Let's clear his name, which she has dragged through the mud for long enough. I have transcribed the comments here. And this is what she says. This is a text from Meghan to Mr. Knauf. Quotes, everything I drafted is with the understanding that it could be leaked. Notice, and this is my observation, she doesn't say by whom it can be leaked. But she is presupposing it is going to be leaked. And she is now going to be setting up the situation to so try to destroy her father's reputation that she hopes, according to her explanation, that he will leak it. But I don't buy that. I think that's a lie. I think she knew all along her father wouldn't leak it. And she was hoping if she provoked him enough, maybe he would. But in the eventuality that he would not be provoked, as indeed he wasn't, that she would then leak it, which indeed she did. She leaked it incontrovertibly to 5 friends, all of whom leaked it in varying ways, shapes and forms to People magazine. Let's isolate where that stench came from and who calculated it. And I have to say, as somebody who had a troubled relationship at various times with both my parents, the idea of setting them up would have been reprehensible to me, as it would be to any decent person. And anybody who sets up a parent, whether they are deserving or not, and Thomas Markle certainly isn't, is at best reprehensible. And quite frankly, in my view, either evil or displaying characteristics that are interchangeable with evil. Not only destructive, evil. Evil is the choice that destructive people make when they unfairly seek to damage others who do not deserve to be damaged in that way. It's evil. Evil. To resume. Everything I drafted is with the understanding that it could be leaked. She may as well have said by herself. So I have been meticulous in my word choice. Ha ha! But please do let me know if anything stands out for you as a liability. In other words, has she revealed her hand? Has she indicated that she is a snivelling and treacherous worm that she truly is? She wants the communications director to inform her whether she's let that mask slip. To continue the question, also sticky notes from Meghan to Jason Knauf. Jason, given that I have only ever called him Daddy, may make sense to open such, despite him being less than paternal. And in the unfortunate event that it leaked, would pull at the heartstrings. There we go, Miss Manipulative, yet again. The woman is so disgusting. She makes me want to puke. I also don't know, continuing the quote, I also don't know if I need to say, why are you doing this? But I'm on the fence about it. The rest is in the spirit of facts without seeming orchestrated or litigious. There's no such word as litigious. I'd love to know what that word means. Litigious. I mean, the woman is so pretentious as well. She is so full of the brown stuff. If she ever was given an enema, she would disappear off the face of this earth without trace. Talk about a dreadful human being. Honestly, Jason, I feel fantastic. There comes the exultancy of the sociopathic narcissist. And real and factual. There, of course, comes the constant refrain of the total phony and pathological liar. And if he leaks it, that's on his conscience. Well, he didn't, so presumably it's on hers. But of course she doesn't have a conscience, so it can't be on that. And at least the world will know the truth. The truth like when she was asked, and I'll get to that in a little while, about certain comments she made, because he asked her in that interview the other day, the whatever it's called, the New York Times interview, clearly referring to the lie after lie after lie after lie that filthy scrubber has said against her father. And if she thinks I'm being unfair, sue me. Sue me. I will defend it. Sue me. She said, when she was caught out in, well, she's speaking the truth, that she believes in sticking up for right. Right. Since when was being a Judas Iscariot right? The woman is an absolute beyond the pale. Honestly, Jason, I feel fantastic and real and factual. I'm so authentic. Mickey, I'm just so authentic. Talk about a phony. Anyway. And at least the world will know the truth. Words I could never voice publicly. Oh, she made sure that she voiced them privately and leaked it to the public. You see? The double bluff of the true fraud. Trust me, toiled over every detail. She's admitting, this idiot, that she's deliberately set up her father. She's admitting it. She's admitting the trouble she's gone to lie and deceive the world about him and about herself. If that is not truly reprehensible and disgusting, I would like to know, as a child and as well as a parent, what is disgusting. Additional details worth talking about. Now, this is no longer a quote. The attorney for the Mail on Sunday stated that Meghan had a Zoom call with her 5 friends right after people published parts of her letter, and she was happy with the article. Quote unquote, she made no corrections. Of course she was happy with the article. She set it up. She set up her father. The woman is evil. There is no two ways about it. The woman is evil. She tried to set her father up and get me to do her dirty work, telling lies about her father via Harry to me. Lies, damnable lies. And she has done it with her 5 friends with People magazine. The woman is a total disgrace. She should be, every decent door should be slammed in her face. Endless Possibilities says, Lady C, it has now been revealed that Meghan's email to her head of communications, Jason Knauf, goes against what she originally told the court. Her letter to her father was intended to be private. Yes, and I'm a pig that flies. What do you think of Jason Knauf's role in sharing these emails and texts from Meghan to the public and the court? Do you believe the Mail and Associated Press have a chance of getting this case to trial? Also, what do you think of Meghan's recent apology to the court about the fact that she did not remember the emails she sent to Jason? To answer the whole thing, and then we're off this completely reprehensible subject, because I'm sorry, I don't like wading in feces, and certainly not that scrubber Meghan Markle's filth. I'm going to read what she said to the court. I accept that Mr. Knauf did provide some information to the authors for the book. This is now, of course, Funding Freedom and Finding Freebies, that pastiche of a hagiography that treated us to her bowel movements because she's so fabulous that she can just crap over everybody, and everybody is supposed to think how wonderful she is. Disgusting creature. Disgusting. And incidentally, the word crap comes from Mr. Crapper. Mr. Crapper is the person who invented the lavatory seat. It is an abbreviation. It is not a vulgarism. Just for those of you who don't know. Other words may be vulgarisms, but it's not a vulgarism. It is an abbreviation of the inventor of the name of the lavatory seat, from Mr. Crapper. She says, I'm going to start over again because it's worth hammering home the point. I accept that Mr. Knauf did provide some information to the authors for the book, and that he did so with my knowledge, for a meeting that he planned for with the authors in his capacity as communications secretary. The extent of the information he shared is unknown to me. Mickey, catch that pig, it's flying. It has Meghan Markle stamped all over it. To continue. The extent of the information he shared is unknown to me. Well, what else are we supposed to believe? That Judas Iscariot was innocent of being a traitor? Or that maybe he was entitled to the 30 pieces of silver and Jesus' life was well worth it? When I approved the passage, I did not have the benefit of seeing these emails. So this is a woman, incidentally, who proudly gets upon television and shows off how knowledgeable she is by quoting endless statistics that are a total irrelevance to the subject, but to boost her pretenses of being knowledgeable. But she doesn't remember such an important fact. Well, either she's a fool, or she believes that we're fools, or she knows that the judges are fools, or hopes they're fools. Of course, this will get her off the hook, because judges don't like charging people with perjury in civil matters. But if ever a civil matter cried out for somebody to be charged with perjury, it is this one. Not only has Meghan Markle tried to muzzle the Mail on Sunday for trying to defend her father after she trashed him. But she has also, and let's not forget this, she has also sought to gain a vast amount of money from the Mail on Sunday. That is the criminal offences of perjury and attempting to obtain a pecuniary advantage by deception. The woman is as guilty as sin of various crimes. If I may continue. When I approved the passage, so she approved it, I did not have the benefit of seeing these emails. Why? Are you a total defective? Couldn't you remember what lies you told? Or have you told so many that you can't remember which ones you told? Well, that we know to be a fact. But in this instance, I'm pretty damn sure you remembered every single lie you told, you filthy little beast. And I apologize to the court for the fact that I had not remembered these exchanges at the time. I had absolutely no wish or intention to mislead the defendant or the court. Well, if the court believes that the expression the law's an arse really is absolutely true, I would assume that they are going to pretend to accept it as the truth. But they are going to factor in the fact that they are dealing with a malevolent, manipulative, destructive, controlling, nasty piece of work who hasn't only tried to damage the Mail on Sunday, but to destroy her father's reputation. You know, there's perjury on more than one level in all of this. Not only about Jason Knauf's admissions, but also about cooperating with funding freebies. The woman has just lied and lied again, and thought she was going to be able to get away with it because, yet again, that airhead with pretensions to intelligence thinks that she is Rachel Zane. Slap him once, slap him right, slap him again on Suits. Honey child, you're not Rachel Zane. Rachel Zane couldn't even pass her exams. You can only pass wind. You are a disgusting human being. Disgusting. The letter was written with the assumption it would be made public. She admits it. And she admits it to Jason Knauf. But when Thomas Markle, didn't leak it, she leaked it. She leaked it. Then she pretends that she didn't have anything to do with it. She didn't only lie about the character of her father, she also lied about his conduct in the run-up to her wedding. Now, I have said this before, and I'm going to say it again. There is nothing that can convince me at this stage that Meghan Markle ever had any intention of her father walking up that aisle with her. If she had had an intention of him walking up that aisle with her, he would have had a morning suit made for him. You don't make a morning suit in 36 hours. You don't. Not if it's properly fitted. Unless, of course, you're in Hong Kong or Thailand and you're getting a knockoff. But that's not how things are done properly. That's one little giveaway. The devil is always in the detail. But also, she lied brazenly to her friends and in the letter about the fact that her father had not communicated with her in the run-up to the wedding. Yet there are endless texts and emails from her father showing that the woman is a brazen liar. A brazen liar. An evil, lying bitch. Because what she has done is so reprehensible. It is so evil. What child, unless it has a heart of stone, even if it had grouses against its parent, and all children have grouses against their parents, would do something like that? Only an evil person, in my view, would do something like that. It's calculatedly destructive, which makes it evil. Don't take my word for it. Refer to any priest. She painted a totally false picture of her father, not only to him, but to her friends. Can you imagine how the poor man felt when he got this outrage of a letter? And never once complained about her friend's conduct, but sues the Mail on Sunday when they gave her father the platform that he deserved. He deserved that platform. And if the court does not find that there is an arguable case to be heard, I will have no respect whatsoever for the court. The evidence could not be clearer. Meghan Markle lied, set her father up, purveyed a whole load of filth to her friends for public consumption. She should be charged with perjury. She should be charged with perjury. She should get her comeuppance. And certainly the Mail on Sunday had an absolute right, as did her father. She cannot accuse her father of the things she has accused him of and make him out to be the absolute opposite of what he was. And she gets away with it scot-free. I'm sorry. The law is there to protect the innocent, not to collude with the guilty. Bronya B says, we're now off this extremely distressing subject. Bronya B says, Lady C, have you seen Harry presenting the inaugural, I don't think that's, anyway, whatever, it's a bad spelling, so, but we'll continue. Intrepid Valor Awards in New York. He says his experience in the military made him what he is today. I don't think so. It may have made him what he used to be, but not what he is. What an insult to the military. I couldn't agree more. He can't hold the job he was given and is whining on the TV about his problems, while the veterans have probably many more problems themselves. Well said. But I hope they have a nicer wife. Well, it would be difficult to have a nastier one. He wore 4 medals. What for? Well, to show, of course, how great and grand he is. But he's entitled to them. And the cross for Knight Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. Is he allowed this? Yes, he is. He was given it. He's allowed it. Unless it is rescinded, he is allowed to wear it. He's also allowed to wear his medals. High time the Queen moved on those two. We need a checkmate. I couldn't agree more. I am not in favour of his titles being stripped from him for the obvious reason that it sets a dangerous precedent and it allows somebody who is unpopular and possibly unpopular for the wrong reasons to also be stripped of their title. I think, however, he should be removed and she should be removed from the royal family website. And I would encourage all of you, all over the world, to write into Buckingham Palace requiring that they remove them from the website. That's the least they can do. They're not working royals. I don't give a damn that he's still one of the councillors of state because of the order of precedence. To hell with all of that. It's about time that the royal family showed some backbone and gumption and stop pussyfooting around the fact that they have a traitor in our midst and that we, the people, are heartily sick of it. We're sick of their disgusting displays. And they, the royal family, are either going to have to do something about it, or then we, the people, will start to lose respect for them. There is only so much tolerance one can display in the face of abusiveness before one needs to understand that one is a pusillanimous little creature who is not deserving of sympathy or respect. Vicky Nay says, oh my God, and of course Meghan comes dressed to a Veterans Awards ceremony like a flaming tart. Well, of course, when you've worked it the way she's worked it, why would you stop? Look at how she's worked her feminine wiles and her physical charms for all their worth. It's got her to the rank of princess. That's an accomplishment. Of course she's going to dress for the... Well, I was going to say the role, but I think you're right. She dressed like a flaming tart. She indeed always jars. Yes, she does. It's not a movie premiere and it's not about you. Of course it's always about her. I mean, really, Vicky Nay. I mean, how could you be so misguided? It's not about Meghan. Mickey, it's always about Meghan, isn't it, honey child? Always, always. It's got to be about me, 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 me again, 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 me, me, me. If I may resume. It's not a movie premiere and it's not about you. And what the heck is going on with the seams on the chest? Why are they all puckered? She just cannot hit the right note. Well, the dress was totally inappropriate. But you know, Meghan thought, Catherine's had her wow moment. I'm going to have mine. Mr. DeMille, my sister-in-law, can you believe it? She had a wow moment on that dress. I'm going to show her how it's done. So it's cut, the dress is cut practically to her belly button and practically to, shall we say, where the cat lives? Meow, meow. She seems to not understand one of the main rules of good attire is if it plunges down, it doesn't plunge upwards as well. You don't slit upwards and plunge down. You do one or the other, not both. It also didn't fit properly. Yet again, in the back, I don't know if you noticed the rolls of flesh. I did. And in the front, now that she's obviously had her breast implants removed, they've, remember the old saying, what God has forgotten, woman will stuff with cotton. Well, she obviously ran out of cotton wool because it really looked as if there were 2 empty spaces there. So the front was too big, the back was too small, and the side puckered. That's an accomplishment. That is an accomplishment. And I am pretty sure Carolina Herrera has absolutely nothing to do with it. Meghan doesn't know how to wear clothes. As I have said before, she has the gait of a scrubber. She walks like Joan Collins. She looks as if she is flaunting her wares for all takers to be aware of. Flaunt, flaunt, flaunt. No decorum. Overly overt, let's put it that way. Vulgar, vulgar, vulgar. Still in the game says, question to Lady C. Would you comment on the red number Megsy Baby was seen sporting at the New York Gala event recently, please? I know you've commented on her hideously ill-fitting attire before, but this reached new heights. I think, darling, you meant depths. Not to mention that it was one of her screamingly obvious attempts to outdo Kate. She may as well have dived headfirst into a pile of, and I'm afraid I don't know this word, and I'm not sure I want to attempt it, but it's a German word, which I would imagine means something along the lines of what Meghan is full of, and teamed it with a pair of sparkly wellies for all the flattering boost it afforded her. It's a ball gown. It's not an evening dress. It's a ball gown. The poor pathetic little creature doesn't know the difference. That's not surprising. I go to events with celebrities all the time. It's quite standard for them to wear cocktail dresses at lunch and ball dresses in the evening, even though it's not a ball. You don't wear ball gowns to events like that. Notice how sleek Catherine's dress was. There's a difference between an evening dress and a ball gown. But also, if you're going to flaunt yourself the way she does, contorting that body into all angles so that everybody will know just she's hot stuff, it's not possible for the dress to fit properly, because dresses are made for people who do not perform the way she does. Ring of Truth says, Dear Lady C, as someone who is always impeccably dressed, thank you, did you see the photo of H&M in New York last night at an event in honor of veterans ahead of Remembrance Day in the UK? I was struck by H's untidy appearance with a creased shirt and jacket unbuttoned. Not the look one expects from a member of royalty, especially when wearing medals. In days past, H would have been helped to dress for such an event, yes, by his valet. And as his wife, I would expect M to ensure her husband looked immaculate. You surely don't think she has time to waste on a little dinky little creature like the prince when she's got to think of herself? Gosh, it's all about me. Mirror, mirror on the wall, why am I the fairest of us all? Ah, mirror, mirror on the wall, can I rip myself away from my greatest love? And pay attention to that unkempt, red-haired jerk that I have along for the ride? I don't think so. Don't wish to appear unkind. What do you think? Love to you and Mickey as ever. Well, I have expressed my opinion already. Harry, I thought, yeah, the shirt could have been a little bit better. The collar was too narrow. The suit seemed all right, but it was very difficult to tell. But the shirt didn't cut the mustard. But then Harry is one of those unfortunate people who, no matter what he puts on, he manages to look unkempt. You know, I knew somebody who was very well bred. She was an actress, and she was a very good-looking woman too. And she was always cast as the barmaid. And I used to say, there's a very good reason why Sally is always cast as the barmaid. Spiritual recognition. She has the soul of a scrubber. Harry, spiritual recognition. He has the soul of somebody who is perpetually unkempt. BC says, Dear Lady C, recently Meghan Markle was interviewed on a New York Times podcast. The interviewer asked her if she felt anxious going into politics, as she recently started lobbying for paid maternity leave. It was a yes or no question. Well, of course, she would never answer yes or no. Not when she's, eels are not really well known for being anything but slippery. Instead, she said her husband and his family traditionally don't go into politics, separating herself from them. Then she said she is not going into politics by lobbying the US Congress, writing letters to the Speaker of the House and cold calling members of Congress. She said this is a humanitarian effort and not a political influencing government policy effort. She implied she doesn't share Harry's or his family's values. She doesn't understand the historical nature of using a British title to gain a foothold in American politics. So I think she understands it only too well, my dear. In order to influence a policy which will negatively impact the American economy, support population explosion, and all American taxpayers will pay for. Payment for this financial policy will ultimately come out of every American taxpayer's pocket. The rich in the US have so many tax loopholes, they usually don't pay tax. That, regrettably, is true. So Meghan Markle won't be paying for it. She certainly won't, let me tell you. That eel knows how to slip through every orifice. So Meghan Markle won't be paying for it. Anyway, she clearly doesn't share the royal family or Harry's values, integrity, sense of history, or respect for the American Constitution, Revolutionary War, etc. She is slapping the American public as well as the British public in the face by using her aristocratic title to gain notice in American politics. Clearly, the royal family made a huge mistake in allowing her to marry Harry. They certainly did. The time to clamp down was when he wanted to get permission and his grandfather tried to avert the catastrophe that has taken place. And the race card was played. At that point, if it had been me, I'd have said, I'm afraid, bud, that sounds suspiciously like a threat, and I'm not buying it. Clearly, I'm made of firmer stuff than Prince Philip and the Queen. Clearly, they need to separate the distance themselves as much as possible from her. Clearly, the titles need to be removed ASAP. She continues to use them in a shockingly irresponsible, ignorant, uneducated way. My question is this: do you agree? Is there a solution other than signing your petition? not to be rude, but the petition was written about a year ago. It hasn't had any effect. No, quite right, the petition has stalled. It doesn't have as many, shall we say, hits as it ought to have had. It's only about 80-something thousand. I wanted it to be at least 100,000. It hasn't happened. That's fine. If people don't want to make their voices heard in a meaningful way, but they want to speak elsewhere, that's their choice. As I said earlier in this video, I am not in favour of Harry's titles being forcibly removed. I'm in favour of them being put into abeyance. My favoured alternative is for Harry to put his titles into abeyance, to ask for them to be put into abeyance, which I've never had any real hope is going to happen, but it is in the game of life. Sometimes you have to play one card to achieve the objective from another. It's not up to me, it's up to the public. What I think we should all be agitating for at this point is for Harry and Meghan to be removed from the royal family website. I saw that podcast. I was extremely impressed with MELLODY Hobson. MELLODY Hobson is obviously a woman of substance, intelligence, integrity, and accomplishment. I think they did Meghan Markle no favours by having her on with a woman of such substance. I don't know if you looked at it, but if you didn't, it's worth looking at it a little bit to see how MELLODY Hobson is a total foil for Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle is pretentious, opaque, very carefully considered what she does. The hands everywhere. And just the right facial angles to catch the camera as she spews forth one bit of rubbish after another. And it's all calculated for you to realize that this is an authority figure who is a woman of great eminence and great knowledge and should be listened to. Why? Where's her knowledge? Where's her eminence? Is making a complete ass of yourself in the eyes of the public, and having shown the world that you are a proven liar and treacherous, and that you have tried to destroy your father's reputation by vicious lies, and then lied to the court, and you hoped that you would be able to use your knowledge as Rachel Zane cleverly enough to get the whole thing knocked out before it went to court, so your lies wouldn't be discovered, and they're now discovered. The woman is a total fraud and a total phony as far as I can see and as far as I'm concerned. And yes, she does sometimes come out with things that I agree with, because if you're a human being, you have to agree with things of even people who are disgusting and reprehensible, if what they say makes sense. And some of what she says makes sense. She's not a total inadequate, and she's not a total imbecile. She is a total phony and a total fraud, and that comes across loud and clear. And it was so obvious because she is pretentiousness to the nth degree. the posing, she's been taught. And she's very good at presenting herself. What she's not good at, and what Melody Hobson is good at, is presenting ideas. Melody Hobson knows her stuff. She is sincere. She is worth listening to. She's not like she's swimming upstream in a river of feces to gain the ambition to be ever more splendiferous. It's between her mouth, her head, and the audience. She says what she has to say, clearly and to the point. And she also, on several occasions, if you knew what you were looking for, where Meghan was positioning herself to really deprive people of their liberties and their freedoms, she was taking a completely more measured view. And she was where Meghan was being negative and basically destructive. She was being positive and life-enhancing on more than one occasion. It was really interesting to see. So there you had this woman of genuine substance, sincere, just articulating what she should be articulating, addressing the subject. And there you have this piffling poser coming up with one considered thought after another so that everyone will know how great I am, and occasionally working herself into the equation, as she always does. I have reached the stage with Meghan and Harry where I find them supremely distasteful, and her I find reprehensible. Sorry. That's the way it is. I think she is an enormity that is a blot on the posterior of humanity. I think she is a dreadful, dreadful human being. I think it's a great pity because she has enough talent that had she been a different sort of person, she could have now been well on the way to being, if not already, the most popular and respected woman on earth. What a loss of an opportunity. But you can't make a sow's ear into a silk purse, and no matter how much screeching she does, she is a sow's ear and not a silk purse. And on that note, I will say thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been of some interest to you. If it has, please like, share, subscribe, press the notification bell, and keep the questions and comments coming in. This can't be done without you. God bless and goodbye.